to all of you. From all of us
to all of you.
Happy holidays! Happy holidays.
So happy holidays from all of us to all of you.
Happy holidays.
From all of us
to all of you.
Happy holidays.
From CBS 4.
Today, the doctor says all new.
A lot of falls, you can get major head injuries.
Holiday dangers.
These are sharp choking hazards.
Then, from cracked lips to colds.
How to winterproof your body.
Plus, do you know which cold medicines to buy for your kids? Inside Dr. Sears Med University. And it's flu shot season.
Should I tell your kids a cute butt?
I bet he's Botoxing his butt, so I'm sure it's cute.
On the doctors.
Today at 3 on 4, brought to you by these sponsors.
My favorite thing. And this year, there's a twist. They cost next to nothing.
Some cost $6, this $2.
Isn't that great?
Viewers reveal their thriftiest holiday secrets.
What a great idea.
Then, my favorite cook, Christina Ferrari. The best turkey stuffing pumpkin pie.
Oh, well, now.
Plus our free holiday gift to you. Next Oprah.
Today at 4 on CBS 4.
We now join our program in progress.
And there's plenty of debate. There can be no debate about the results in keeping America safe.
The president's comments came during what sometimes sounded like a farewell speech Wednesday at the Army War College in Pennsylvania. More news in 2 minutes.
Let me tell you about a very important phone call I made. When I got my Medicare card, I realized I needed an AARP Medicare Supplement insurance card too.
One simple call gave me the chance to talk with a personal health insurance advisor
Who answered all my questions about Medicare supplement plans, so I could understand it all. After I called, I was able to choose the plan that was right for me.
If you're already on or eligible for Medicare, call now to find out how an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, helps you pay some of the 20% of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare Part B. That can save you from paying thousands of dollars out of your own pocket. These are the only Medicare Supplement Insurance plans exclusively endorsed by AARP, a name you trust. When you call now, we'll send you this free information kit with all you need to enroll, so you can join the millions of people who've already trusted us for their Medicare supplement insurance. Plus, we'll send you this free guide to understanding Medicare.
The prices are competitive. I can keep my own doctor and choose my own hospital.
and I don't need a referral to see a specialist.
Call now to get the free information kit. Plus, we'll include this free Medicare guide. And the advantages don't end there. You can choose from a wide range of plans that are all competitively priced, so you can find a plan that best fits your needs and budget. There are virtually no claim forms to fill out. And best of all, they're the only Medicare supplement plans endorsed by AARP.
When they told me these plans were endorsed by AARP,
I had only one thing to say. Sign me up.
Call now, 1-800-531-5866, and let us help you choose the right plan. So call now, 1-800-531-5866, and find out about an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan. A personal health insurance advisor is waiting for your call.
It's 40 past the hour. A picturesque town in the Midwest is the setting for a bizarre story. Members of a secretive group in Shawano, Wisconsin, have allegedly put out a contract on the mayor and dozens of other local officials. CBS's chief investigative correspondent Armin Katayan has this exclusive report.
The annual holiday parade in scenic Shawano, Wisconsin. For the first time in years, someone is missing. The longtime mayor nowhere in sight, afraid for her life.
To have this happen, who would think it?
So unthinkable that Mayor Lorna Marquardt's open door policy is now officially closed.
And this glass here?
This is bulletproof.
It is bulletproof.
Yes,
all part of a once quiet town, turned upside down.
We have weapons in our home now.
All a reaction to news of an alleged hit list and claims by a so-called hit man. now telling his story for the first time.
And I said, you want me to kill 60 people? You want me to kill the whole town of Shawano?
Were they hiring you as a hitman?
Yes, they were.
You're talking about the mayor, the city administrator, the city treasurer, the city attorney, the police chief, the judges, investigators, fire commissioners. Canadian businessman Bob Cameron says in late October he received $175,000 in wire transfers from people known to be part of a secretive group long run out of this house near Shawano called CIST. Minutes later, Cameron says his fax machine spit out this list of 60 names, with the mayor at number 1. At the top of the page, the word red rum, murder spelled backwards.
Could get me guns, and they had a place to buy them and everything. And that's when I realized that I was in over my head, and I sent this to the authorities right away. Sources tell CBS News both the FBI and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police considered Cameron's claims about the hit list to be both serious and credible. For 30-plus years, the group now known as CIST has been led by a man once named Rama Behera, now called Dr. Avraham Cohen. The group says it's an educational nonprofit, but over the years, news reports, public records, and former members have characterized it as a religious cult, a charge a lawyer for the group strongly denied.
There is not and never has been a cult, any more than CBS is a cult. Although there are people who believe that CBS is a communist organization, which you deny.
I'm not scared of these people.
Cameron would appear to be an unlikely choice for a hitman. He said the only reason he got mixed up with CIST was because they owed him more than $100,000 from a business deal 3 years ago involving high-end go-karts.
I was looking for an opportunity to, to get money, my money back from them.
So Cameron claims he played along with key members of the group for a couple of months, spinning stories about himself and agreeing to help them find loans, when one day they asked if he could help them with their political problems with some people in town. You're a motorsports owner in Canada. How can you help them with their political problems in Wisconsin?
I have an Italian wife, and of course, which meant that there was Italian ties and Italian mafia ties, so I advised that I knew people that could, that could really help them with that.
Attorney Eisenberg calls Cameron's story nothing but fiction.
This is sheer, unadulterated fantasy. I've never heard anything like this from Mr. Cameron or reported by him.
CIST in the city of Shawano have been at odds for years after the group and some of its members began buying up property in and around town, more than $13 million worth today. But several of their storefronts now sit empty, and thousands of dollars in property taxes remain unpaid.
And I think that they may have some financial issues. They seem to want to blame the city for those things. So I think the more problems that are occurring for them, the angrier it seems they become.
Lately, some of that anger has boiled over into a series of attacks on the mayor, like this press release issued by CIST that claims Cameron told the group he was a hired gun for the mayor and the FBI to rob CIST, and YouTube videos like this one decrying the cult of Mayor Lorna Marquardt. Part of what makes some folks here so nervous is what the local sheriff called the unknown, secretive nature of the group. The blue and red tarps draped over the main building. People videotaping those who simply drive down the street, or like us, are standing on a public street. In fact, within 15 minutes of our arrival, we were confronted downtown. Two men showing up to videotape our meeting with reporter Michael Lauber of CBS affiliate WSAW, who has done a series of stories on the group.
Why are you staying here on this sidewalk?
Why am I? It's a public street.
Why are you? What made you choose this location?
I chose this location because it's got a nice picture of Shauna right behind me. You guys seem really kind of aggressive. I mean,
you're associating with a person that is very, very evil. He's like the minister of propaganda and lies.
The local reporter?
Yes.
Are there any people in Shawano who are afraid of CIST?
There are people in Shawano who are afraid of CBS. That's my answer. Nobody from CIST has been accused. Nobody from CIST has been questioned. Nobody from CIST is being investigated?
But law enforcement sources tell CBS News that the FBI is actively investigating what it calls a person of interest within CIST, but no one has been named. So far, no arrests have been made, only adding to the state of fear felt by so many in this idyllic little town. Armin Katayan, CBS News, Shawano, Wisconsin.
Still ahead, it's some of the most beautiful and protected land in America, but a new plan to drill here has many outraged, including one of Hollywood's biggest stars.
My mum is like always hopping from one thing to the next. She's never relaxed. Thankfully, she found this new Airwick Luminaire flameless candle. Mum says it creates the ambience of a real candle, but without the worry. And thanks to the combination of Airwick's soothing scent and gentle glow, Mum's stress just melts away. The Airwick Luminaire flameless candle works with all the scented oil refills Mum loves. Airwick, it's good to be home.
Still got flakes? That's your clue to switch shampoo. To Selsun Blue. Maximum Selsun strength medicine wipes out flakes, plus aloe and moisturizers keep hair healthy. No flakes or itch. Selsun Blue shampoo.
Got a clue? Get the blue.
I felt like I was always cleaning every day. I couldn't get away from these stubborn stains. They just kept coming back. It was so irritating, and I felt like my home was never clean. That's why I have Lime Away, and it comes with DuraGuard, which helps keep my home clean longer. Lime Away not only removes the toughest hard water buildup and eliminates gritty lime scale, but its formula with DuraGuard acts like a shield to protect from stains coming back, so you're not always cleaning.
For lime, calcium, and rust, Lime Away is a must.
What's an emergency that boosts your health and energy? 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C and naturally energizing B vitamins. For a boost you can feel. Get a free sample at emergency.com and feel the good.
Ah, yes, the Geico Gecko in migration, driven by primal instinct to help people save hundreds of dollars on their car insurance.
Hey, do you see that guy over there? He's giving me the heebie-jeebies. Gotta be kidding me.
Oh. What a clever creature.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Tonight, the little girl's remarkable recovery has doctors wondering if the impossible is now possible. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
It's the biggest singing competition to hit morning television. One song, one chance, one catch. You have to sing with your family. The Early Show Singing Family Face-Off. For your shot at stardom, watch The Early Show and log on to earlyshow.cbsnews.com for details.
The biggest names in politics face the nation with Bob Schieffer Sundays.
The U.S.'s biggest ally in Iraq is pulling out. During a visit to Baghdad, British Prime Minister Gordon Brown announced all British troops will leave Iraq by the end of May. Originally, they were scheduled to head home by early summer. The withdrawal means that 9 out of 10 coalition soldiers on the ground will be from the U.S. Blackwater's days of protecting American diplomats in the war zone could be numbered. A State Department panel has recommended dropping the private security firm when its contract expires next year. 5 Blackwater guards face manslaughter charges for a shooting in Baghdad last year in which 17 Iraqis were killed. The government has seized a New York City business with suspected ties to terrorism. The U.S. Treasury Department says Asa Corporation, which co-owns this building on Fifth Avenue, just north of St. Patrick's Cathedral, has been under investigation for a number of years. But now the feds have blacklisted the firm, alleging it's funneling money to an Iranian bank which funds nuclear weapons research. Of the thousands who work inside, very few knew of its suspected close ties to terrorism.
I think that's terrible. I think they should seize the building.
Oh, wow. I think that's kind of terrible if it's happening.
All assets belonging to Asa Corporation are now frozen, but the feds say tenants in the building will not be affected. This Friday, the Bush administration plans to sell leases for oil and gas drilling in protected areas in Utah. Wednesday, environmental groups went to court to try and stop the sale. CBS's Wyatt Andrews reports they have some serious star power on their side.
Conservation groups call it a last-minute Christmas present from the Bush administration to the oil and gas industry, a plan to auction the drilling rights to some of the most wild and scenic areas left in America, 110,000 acres of red rock public land in Utah.
Pipelines, power lines, it's an industrialization of a landscape that is now wild and empty.
It does not belong to Cheney or Bush.
The groups are backed by actor and activist Robert Redford, who called the auction morally criminal.
Once this land is destroyed, it's gone. You want to preserve something that's not only a part of our heritage, it belongs to us, not them.
The most controversial land parcels up for bid sit right beside the popular Arches National Park. The parcels shown here in red are on the block and can easily be seen from the park. The oil and gas industry says critics exaggerate the impact of drilling. In the most sensitive areas, they say, those tall oil and gas rigs can only be on the land for 30 days.
The rig moves off, and very small, you can put on low-profile equipment onto that lease.
The industry also insists America needs the energy.
And when companies are denied access to that land, we as Americans lose access to that vital energy resource.
The administration, meanwhile, says the land auction, set for Friday, has been in the works for 7 years and is not a last-minute effort to allow for oil and gas development. But the fact is, oil and gas developers are in a race to lock down drilling rights to Utah's gas reserves because they fear the Obama administration will put all of these lands off limits. Wyatt Andrews, CBS News, Washington.
It's not even winter yet, but practically the entire country is getting hit with severe and in some cases deadly storms. CBS's Sandra Hughes reports this could be just the beginning.
From east to west, Mother Nature is making a mess. Floods stranded animals and mud threatened homes in California.
I want the residents to be prepared to leave at a moment's notice.
Driving snow across the Midwest, the roads so treacherous in Indianapolis that a school bus carrying as many as 60 kids slid off the road after being hit by another car. 25 were injured. 5 others died in that state. In San Antonio, the de-icer is being investigated as the cause of almost 500 traffic accidents.
Right now, we are going to be reviewing where all the accidents have been taking place.
In Chicago, officials have deployed 600 snowplows and salt trucks, but they can't keep up.
I can't remember the last time we was on the highway and it was so bad.
And luck was running out on the road to Las Vegas. The freeway from Los Angeles was closed. But for those already in the mountains outside LA, it was picture postcard perfect.
This is exactly what we needed to kick us into the holiday period.
Up to 10 inches of snow hit northern Arizona.
And that may be just the beginning. 2 western storms are headed east, prompting weather warnings across the nation. And another storm is hanging over the Pacific, ready to pound the west again. Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now a look at your Thursday morning weather. Rain, ice, and snow is expected from the Rockies to the Midwest, with temperatures largely in the single digits. Snow should also blanket much of the Northwest. The Northeast will get a break from the ice storms with a couple days of clear skies. And take a look at this rare sight, snow in Las Vegas. The National Weather Service says it's the biggest snowstorm in the city in 30 years. This is CBS News, up to the minute.
Now there's a safe, natural way to dramatically improve your sexual performance with Postivac, the medically approved vacuum therapy system that's 95% effective, guaranteed. Simply apply the gentle suction of the Postivac system, and within 4 minutes, you'll experience complete sexual performance.
I was kind of amazed how well Postivac works.
It worked the first time around. I'm going, wow, it really works.
Now you and the one you love can enjoy complete sexual pleasure and satisfaction anytime with no pills, no doctor visits. Postivac is a clinically proven vacuum therapy system, not a pill. You'll experience results in less than 4 minutes, not hours, and there are no harmful side effects.
Vacuum therapy is so safe and effective that it is now the only erectile treatment covered by Medicare Part B. And now Postivac is approved by almost every major insurance company in the country. You pay nothing up front, so there's no waiting for reimbursement. We even take care of the paperwork for you.
Postivac's the only way to go. I'm telling you, I've tried everything, and I know if you don't give it a try, you're crazy.
You're going to be all you can be, or you're not going to be all you can be, and this helps you be all you can be.
If you have a brain in your head, dial this 1-800 number after this commercial. Why take the best part of life out of your life when you can have life with Postivac?
Call now to have Postivac delivered discreetly to your home. It's 100% guaranteed to work for you or your money back. And remember, Postivac is covered by Medicare and most insurance companies, so your Postivac may be yours at little or no cost to you. Postivac works in minutes, but the results can last a lifetime. Experience the confidence. Experience complete sexual performance. Experience Postivac.
Road crews near Des Moines, Iowa are using a unique formula to melt snow and ice on their streets. As Steve Carlin from KCCI TV in Des Moines explains, it's a pungent solution to a perennial problem.
While you're slipping and sliding on the streets, Anthony snowplow drivers are having some strange thoughts.
Makes you feel like ordering a steak and a baked potato.
Weird things are also happening at home.
My dog jumped up on my lap and she started licking my pants.
Something smells inside this city storage shed.
9 tons of garlic salt. Isn't that a great thing?
Yep, garlic salt.
It's a little yellow in color, you know, and got a smell to it.
The regular road-grade rock stuff is now riddled with it.
We diluted it down, so to speak.
All 9 tons given to the city, courtesy of Ankeny's hometown spice company, Tones.
We'll take any kind of salt that we can get.
What's Tones' take on its free garlic salt gift?
Salt is salt is salt is salt.
Tones ain't talking. Ankeny Public Works Administrator Al Olson says it melts ice and snow just fine.
You know, I wish you had some bread or something around here, Steve.
But the smell also makes you hungry.
Well, we're all buttered up, ready to go here, and what do you think, Al?
Steve, I don't think I'm going to eat it. I think you need to eat it.
I'm not going to eat that either. What do you say we use this stuff?
There you go.
Lots of things can make your car go in the winter. But Ankeny may be the only city around reducing all that slipping and sliding with garlic salt.
KCCI TV's Steve Carlin reporting. Now to a place where the big concern is keeping the ice from melting. Norwegian artist Peter Istad is putting the finishing touches on this ice hotel in western Norway. It took 42,000 pounds of ice and has 12 individually styled bedrooms and a bar. According to the artist, the biggest challenge was the chapel, complete with an altar. It's not Peter's first hotel. This is a replacement for the one that melted in the spring. Thanks for joining us this half hour. You're watching CBS News Up to the Minute.
Tonight, the little girl's remarkable recovery has doctors wondering if the impossible is now possible. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
CBS News. Experience you can trust.
Now on CBS News Up to the Minute.
How do you feel?
Accused financial swindler Bernard Madoff is free on bail as Congress prepares to investigate why the SEC didn't uncover the massive scam. And with the auto bailout stalled, Chrysler and Ford announced plans to temporarily shut down their plants. Good morning from CBS News headquarters in New York. This is Up to the Minute. I'm Meg Oliver. Chrysler workers from Detroit and Canada to Mexico are bracing for the worst. Chrysler will shut down all its assembly lines for at least a month, starting at the end of Friday's shift. Chrysler, along with GM, is still waiting on billions in government bridge loans. The White House and Treasury haven't said if or when the money will come. That's got the car makers scrambling to conserve cash. Chrysler usually shuts its production lines for 2 weeks over New Year's, but dealers report a glut of inventory since many would-be buyers are having trouble getting financing. With partial pay and unemployment benefits, workers will collect most of their salary, but that's cold comfort for the communities affected.
The reality is that it's, from a psychological perspective, it's uncertainty. And the more uncertainty we're adding into these people's lives right now, especially, it's a bad situation.
Ford announced a similar plan, extending its usual holiday hiatus from 2 weeks to 3. And GM will stop construction of a plant to make engines for the new Volt electric vehicle. The Volt is one of GM's most important new products. The carmaker says it still hopes to have the Volt on showroom floors by 2010. The eyes of Wall Street and Main Street are focused on the Labor Department, which is set to release the latest jobless figures. Last week alone, 573,000 Americans filed initial applications for unemployment benefits. That's the most in 26 years. Today's numbers, however, are expected to be worse. As a preview, Aetna announced it's cutting 1,000 jobs, Cooper Tire 1,400, and Western Digital 2,500. Trying to jumpstart the economy, aides to President-elect Obama are reportedly putting together an economic stimulus plan that could cost $850 billion over the next 2 years. That would rival the government's actions to fight the Great Depression. The president-elect is also set to name his choice to head the Securities and Exchange Commission today, Mary Shapiro. She's a former SEC commissioner who currently runs the largest self-regulatory body for the securities industry. The current head of the SEC, Christopher Cox, will have some explaining to do when Congress reconvenes next month. The chairman of the House Capital Markets Committee is launching an investigation into the $50 billion Bernard Madoff scandal. Congressman Paul Kanjorski wants to know how the SEC failed to uncover the biggest pyramid scheme in history. Meanwhile, Attorney General Michael Mukasey has recused himself from the investigation since his son works for one of Madoff's associates. Madoff himself remains free on bail. CBS's Bob Orr reports.
As accused swindler Bernard Madoff shoved his way through a pack of photographers, the nation's top securities regulator made a shocking admission that government auditors had repeatedly failed to thoroughly investigate allegations that Madoff was running a scam.
Credible allegations about Mr. Madoff had been made over nearly a decade and yet never referred to the commission for action.
Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Christopher Cox says Madoff kept several sets of books and lied to regulators to cover up an elaborate Ponzi scheme. But Cox claims there's no evidence of any deliberate wrongdoing at the SEC.
It is an outrageous failure.
Former SEC lawyer Jacob Frankel, though, says government investigators blew it.
The fact is that when they did go in to the Madoff operation, and Bernie Madoff would say, look at this, and look at this, and the SEC would say, thank you, and not pursue it.
Now the SEC is pursuing an investigation into what went wrong. One area of interest involves former Inspector Eric Swanson, who at one point led a team looking into Madoff's financing. Swanson left the SEC in 2006 and is now married to Madoff's niece, a top lawyer for Madoff's firm. Swanson says he did nothing wrong and promises to cooperate. Madoff, who made a personal fortune, has multiple homes, country club memberships, and a yacht. Now he wears an electronic tracking bracelet on his ankle and is under nighttime house arrest. Madoff told the FBI his clients lost up to $50 billion, but no one has a firm grasp on the real scope of the damage or how many investors lost their life savings.
I'm broke.
Larry Leaf is one of them. He's out $8 million and now blames the government for not finding the fraud.
The government has allowed this to happen.
Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.
OPEC announced a huge production cut, but that did nothing to stop the slide in the price of oil. Crude traded below $40 a barrel yesterday for the first time in more than 4 years. Back in the summer, it hit a record high of $145 a barrel. Gas is averaging $1.67 a gallon. That's way down from its all-time high set in July. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer reports.
It was a dramatic announcement meant to jolt the world's energy markets.
I hope we surprised you. If you are not surprised, then we need to do something about it.
The surprise was a production cut, the biggest in OPEC's history, designed to boost plummeting oil prices that have hurt OPEC nations. They rely on oil prices of between $60 and $100 a barrel to balance their budgets. The 13 OPEC members pump about 40% of world consumption. Operating as a cartel, they set production limits collectively. By cutting 2.2 million barrels a day, or about 6% of their production, they'd like to force the price up again to roughly double.
As we take 2 million barrels a day out of the market of OPEC supply, that it will tighten this market and that it will ultimately lead to higher prices.
But it's a risky strategy in the midst of a global downturn.
Cutting oil supply is a mistake by OPEC because what it does is it drives the price artificially higher, and that in turn is going to exacerbate, prolong, worsen the recession.
For American consumers, lower prices at the pump have offered some relief in a dire economy.
It's great.
Even though it's been a bumpy ride.
I don't get it. It's like, why a month ago were we paying $5 and now it's like $173? It doesn't make sense to me.
And it's not getting any more predictable. Demand for oil is slowing so dramatically as the recession deepens that OPEC's production cut hasn't pushed the price of oil up, at least not yet. In fact, it's even dropped a little. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, London.
We have more news coming up in 2 minutes. You're watching CBS News Up to the Minute.
I'm not a lawyer, but I see people who've been hurt in car accidents every day. Let's be honest, being injured can put you in a tough spot. The medical bills can be outrageous. Maybe you can't work and there are no paychecks coming in. Even worse, maybe your insurance company wants you to settle for less money than what you and your family need.
If you've been injured, call Steinger, Isco & Green, 1-800-561-1111.
Their goal is to get you every dollar you deserve.
Non-lawyer spokespersons.
News, weather, sports, comedy, and drama. All free antenna TV will be lost to our family and friends if they don't upgrade their antenna TV sets to digital by February 17th. Help them get a low-cost DTV converter box and help hook it up, scan the channels into it, adjust their antenna, and even get behind that TV wall unit. Visit dtvanswers.com or phone 1-888-CALL-FCC to help those you care about enjoy free digital television now.
From all of us
to all of you,
Happy holidays!
Who is off first?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays!
From all of us up here, Chopper 4, to all of you.
2 minutes to the point.
Happy holidays.
From all of us to all of you.
From all of us
To all of you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays from CBS 4.
When it comes to your money, it's more important now than ever to make all the right decisions, but you don't have to do it alone. CBS 4 News has assembled a special For Your Money team to cover every aspect of our financial crisis and to explain exactly how it all affects you. We stand committed to help you get through these tough economic times with more information and advice on air and online. Count on the For Your Money team only on CBS 4 News.
It's 10 past the hour. Every year, more than 10,000 people need bone marrow transplants to save their lives. Their future literally depends on the kindness of strangers. That's exactly what happened to a little boy born with a life-threatening disease. CBS's Debbie Turner-Bell has this story of the gift of life.
Matthew Welling took his first steps here at New York's Memorial Sloan Kettering Hospital. This little boy with the reddest hair and the biggest heart knows what it's like to fight for his life.
Yeah, it's like a spaceship.
Whoa. Just before Matthew's first birthday, Michael and Susie Welling got the news no parent wants to hear.
We had a full body x-ray, and on our ride home, he called us to say it's osteopetrosis.
This rare and potentially fatal bone disease meant they were in a race against the clock. Their only hope, a bone marrow transplant. Without it, Matthew would be blind and deaf within weeks.
It was, here's our chance to make him normal, better.
He's going to survive.
He's going to be okay.
They kept a web journal, a daily lifeline for friends and family.
Tuesday, November 21st, our day 2, 8 days until transplant. Good day for Matthew today.
Would they be able to find a bone marrow donor whose tissue type matched Matthew's?
The odds of you knowing someone who is a perfect match are astronomical.
Those are called divine odds. 15 years earlier, Stephen Karras registered as a bone marrow donor at his synagogue in Natick, Massachusetts.
They called my office, my home, my cell phone, and sent me an email, all within seconds.
Steve was a perfect match.
You know, I sell insurance for a living. To be able to go out and save someone's life is phenomenal.
Within days, Steve's blood stem cells were sent to New York.
Wednesday, November 29th at 7:52 p.m., Bubba received his new stem cells.
But Steve had no idea if his gift worked or the identity of the recipient. Bone marrow donors must remain anonymous for at least a year.
Matthew was given this gift of life by someone we don't even know.
But that joy would be short-lived.
Wednesday, December 20th. This was the journal entry we did not want to have to compose. Matthew's body has rejected the transplant.
Next came the harrowing search for another donor and sleepless, feverish nights for Matthew as his blood count dwindled.
This was the endless plunge. This was, you just were free falling, you didn't know how to stop it, you didn't know when it was going to stop.
And then another miracle. When Jill Goldsmith's phone rang in Boca Raton, the screen on her caller ID said, "Gift of life."
And at that minute, it hit me. This was not about me and what I was doing. This was about this little boy that was waiting for me in that hospital.
Jill became anonymous donor number 2.
Saturday, January 27th, 11:25 a.m., Bubba's new life began.
But the battle wasn't over yet. Matthew developed a painful rash, a life-threatening sign the transplant was attacking his body.
Monday, March 5th. We get no breaks. All the prayers in the world aren't working for us. Everything that could go wrong is.
5 weeks later, a ray of light.
Monday, April 9th. We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you this breaking news story. Bubba has left the building. That was a big day.
As the months passed, Jill and Steve approached the 1-year anniversary of giving their gift of life.
I kissed my little boy.
And finally, the moment everyone was waiting for.
Sunday, January 27th. Wow. Today we met Steve, donor number 1.
One little dog going down. My hopes are to watch him grow up and to be a fine, wonderfully responsible young man. I know that we will have a bond for life.
Saturday, May 17th. It is our honor and our pleasure to proudly welcome into our family the other half of Matthew's dynamic duo, Jill Goldsmith.
I changed so many people's lives, and most of all my own.
1, 2, 3, go! It's really unbelievable that there's this world of good people out there willing to do such an amazing thing for others.
If you look at the last 6 months, I think you'll agree that the production growth opportunity that we have for us would. What is that?
bet that's the money you could be saving with Geico.
Tell me. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Serious sore throat sufferers know there's nothing stronger than Cepacol to stop sore throat pain seriously fast.
I do!
In lozenge or spray, Cepacol stops pain fast.
More dishwasher brands are unanimous in their commitment to brilliant results by recommending Finish, the new name for Electrosol, the only all-in-one detergent with the revolutionary pre-soaking Powerball for a clean so powerful it shines. Finish, the new name for Electrosol, the diamond standard.
What's an emergency that boosts your health and energy? 1,000 milligrams of immune-strengthening vitamin C, plus naturally energizing B vitamins. Get a free sample at emergency.com and feel the good.
The one you love could be carrying cold and flu viruses. Fact, the flu virus can live on surfaces for days. So before your child picks it up, pick up Lysol disinfectant spray. It has the power to kill harmful cold and flu viruses on commonly touched surfaces. Lysol is the #1 brand recommended by pediatricians. Lysol, disinfect to protect. For additional cold and flu protection, use Lysol disinfecting wipes.
Tonight, a little girl's remarkable recovery has doctors wondering if the impossible is now possible. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
It's the biggest singing competition to hit morning television. One song, one chance, one catch. You have to sing with your family. The Early Show Singing Family Face-Off. For your shot at stardom, watch The Early Show and log on to earlyshow.cbsnews.com for details.
The biggest names in politics face the nation with Bob Schieffer Sundays.
It's 17 past the hour. Top stories and up to the minute. Bernard Madoff's niece will be investigated as part of the probe into his alleged $50 billion pyramid scheme. She's married to a former SEC lawyer who examined Madoff's firm. More problems for automakers. Chrysler is extending its usual 2-week holiday shutdown to a month, and Ford will close 10 plants for an extra week in January. A woman who served both Republican and Democratic presidents is said to be President-elect Obama's choice to head the Securities and Exchange Commission. Obama has reportedly chosen Mary Shapiro, an experienced securities industry regulator. In overseas trading, Japan's benchmark Nikkei index closed up 54 points to finish at 8,667. Alexis Christophorus has more in this morning's CBS News Money Watch.
Chrysler is closing all of its plants for a month. The automakers usually idle around Christmas, but this shutdown will begin Friday and last at least until January 19th. The company is shutting down the plants because of weak sales. Both Chrysler and General Motors have told the government they'll go bankrupt without billions in loans. The White House says it's looking at options for emergency aid. On Wednesday, a $2 billion loss reported by Morgan Stanley drove stocks down. The Dow Industrials lost almost 100 points. The Nasdaq Composite dropped over 10. The price of oil has fallen to just $40 a barrel for the first time in 4 years. In an effort to boost prices, OPEC is cutting oil production by more than 2 million barrels a day. It is the biggest one-time cutback ever. One bright spot is the gold market. Investors continue to buy the precious metal, keeping alive an 8-day winning streak. Lower interest rates have more people trying to get a mortgage. Applications for home loans jumped more than 5% this past week. The number of homeowners looking to refinance is up as well. The average rate for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is just under 5.2%. And that's your Money Watch. Log on to cbsnews.com for more business headlines. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Alexis Christophorus.
Months ago, economists worried inflation could become a major problem. That turned out to be way off. The government reported Tuesday that consumer prices in November fell 1.7%, the biggest drop on record. That, of course, is good news for consumers. But this is not. As the Fed cuts interest rates for banks, banks are raising their credit card rates. CBS's Mark Strassman has more.
True to her small-town roots, Miriam Majors has never lived large. She buys her clothes at Goodwill and always pays bills on time.
Bye, y'all have a good day.
So when Bank of America suddenly jacked her credit card's interest rate from 7.9% to 28%, this nurse was shocked.
Have the rules changed? Did I miss something here?
Turns out the bank changed her rate because her credit limit on another card had been slashed by more than $7,000.
It just didn't make sense to me because I did know what our credit scores were.
It's called balance chasing. Banks, worried about their own rising loan defaults, are chopping credit limits on customers who don't pay off their balance every month.
It's a risky environment, so everybody's being a little bit more careful.
By one estimate, $2 trillion worth. 40% of available consumer credit will be gone by 2010.
This one was 7.9.
Once Miriam Majors' balance was cut, it was a downward spiral. Banks noticed that she had less available credit, and that lowered her credit score by 50 points, from an excellent 783 to 733. And that's what made her interest rate balloon.
They got you coming and going.
Right. It's all to them.
In a statement, Bank of America couldn't comment on a specific customer's account, but said it's taking a more aggressive look at accounts in the current environment. But consumer advocates say cardholders are getting kicked when they're down.
This is incredibly unfair. People need to know what the rules of the game are, and they follow them accordingly.
Disgusted, Majors closed her Bank of America card and opened an account at her local credit union, where account holders have a voice in making the rules.
I don't even want another credit card. I don't. I really don't.
You've had it.
I've had it.
This Thursday, the Federal Reserve is expected to restrict certain credit card practices. Squeezed consumers could use the relief. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Tullahoma, Tennessee.
In technology news, it's another sign of the times. More Americans cutting the cord and going totally wireless. A new government survey shows more than 1 in 6 American homes, nearly 18%, have ditched their landlines and rely on cell phones. That's up from just under 7% 3 years ago. Now your Thursday morning weather. Rain, ice, and snow is expected from the Rockies to the Midwest, with temperatures mostly in the single digits. Snow should also blanket much of the Northwest. The Northeast will get a break from the ice storms with a couple days of clear skies. In sports, just 3 games from breaking an NBA record for the greatest start, the Boston Celtics tried to inch closer to it in Atlanta. Their plan required a rally going into the 4th quarter down 3, but that's when Kevin Garnett took over. Garnett scored 10 of his 18 points in the final quarter to bring them up by 2. That's when Atlanta's Joe Johnson had a chance to tie it, but he misses the second free throw. The Celtics beat the Hawks 88-85 for their 16th straight victory. The second best team in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers, added to another streak. The Cavs handed the Minnesota Timberwolves their 11th straight loss. LeBron James did it with a mere 32 points, but he could have saved even more energy. Cavs win 93-70. And Tiger Woods is playing golf again. The 14-time major champion announced at a press conference today he started to hit balls with short irons for the first time since he had reconstructive knee surgery. He says he's right on schedule to play the Masters in April.
buy half a mattress. Two sides are always better than one. Celebrate with the American Spirit from Englander. Made in America, exclusively at Betting Barn. Take it home with you or same-day delivery available. Buy at a Betting Barn near you.
In Florida, Davie, Tamarack, Deerfield Beach, Boynton Beach, and West Palm Beach.
If you've ever thought you might have a problem with cocaine use, please listen carefully. Right now, Siegel Trials is enrolling volunteers in a medical research study of an experimental medication to treat cocaine addiction in adults. Qualified participants will receive counseling and addiction medication at no cost. To learn more about this medical research study for cocaine addiction, please call toll-free 1-877-SIEGEL-88 or visit SiegelTrials.com, 1-877-SIEGEL-88.
With every new day, there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close to me, they're all part of all the best things about home. Now it appears so clear to me, there's nowhere else I'd rather be, and it's because of all the best things about home, and it's because of all the best things about home.
Shannon Horry and Antonio Mora sharing the stories of South Florida on CBS 4 News.
Betting Barn has the largest selection of the world-famous Tempur-Pedic at the guaranteed lowest discount prices. You gotta feel it to believe it. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
In Florida, Davie, Tamarack, Deerfield Beach, Boynton Beach, and West Palm Beach.
With just 7 shopping days till Christmas, we take you to a store that's striking a chord with its customers. They're making shopping not a chore, but an experience. Here's CBS's Richard Schlesinger.
On the second floor of Macy's in Philadelphia, you'll find women's wear, outerwear, and the biggest pipe organ in the world, played masterfully by virtuoso organist Peter Conti.
Have you always played in women's clothes?
Women's shoes
so
at one
speak?
point, yeah. Women should never have my size, but you know, that's it's okay.
The organ was built into the store in 1911 and has been part of Christmas in Philadelphia ever since.
As a child, my father would always bring us here to hear this organ. At Christmas time, it was a family tradition.
The organ occupies a peculiar place in music history and a prominent place in retail history.
You get folks coming in just to buy a pair of shoes, and then they look up and they hear this instrument, and they're transformed and transfixed for a moment in their lives.
That's a tall order, even for a giant instrument. So just how big is it?
It's got 28,000 plus pipes, 28,400 and something pipes in the organ.
28,400 and something?
Something, we're not quite sure.
The innards of the organ are scattered through the store, built into spaces on 7 different floors. In this area alone, there are 6,300 pipes, give or take a few. And countless shoppers have heard the music. The bigger the audience, the better for business, which is all about generating foot traffic.
Does it make you want to shop more? Does it make you want to come in here? Or what?
Oh, yeah.
And that is music to Macy's ears at a time like this when retail sales are nothing to sing about. Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Thanks for listening to us this morning. This is CBS News Up to the Minute.
Tonight, the little girl's remarkable recovery has doctors wondering if the impossible is now possible. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
CBS News. Experience you can trust.
From all of us,
to all of you, happy holidays from CBS 4.
It's definitely a signal of what we're going through. I mean, this is the real deal.
Autos idling. Chrysler shuts down its North American operations for at least a month. House arrest. Accused Wall Street scam artist Bernard Madoff now has a curfew. And questioning Kennedy, the pressure of running for office.
What can you say to New Yorkers that says that you're qualified?
Are you ready for this, Mrs. Kennedy? Ready. You're not going to answer questions at all?
This is the CBS Morning News for Thursday, December 18th, 2008.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Gielan. This morning, thousands of Chrysler auto workers are trying to figure out how they'll make ends meet. They won't be getting a normal paycheck for at least a month as struggling automakers take dramatic steps to try to stay afloat. Tara Merzner is in Washington with the details. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning, Michelle. The big three are all trying to conserve cash at this point, making this a very tough holiday for employees.
Chrysler is sending its employees home for the holidays and keeping them there. Starting Friday, the auto giant will put the brakes on all 30 of its assembly lines for an entire month. The credit crisis and dwindling sales have provided a 1-2 punch that's forced Chrysler to extend its normal 2-week holiday shutdown.
It really sends the message that what the automakers have been saying for the last several weeks is accurate, that they are in trouble.
Attempting to stretch the buck, Ford says it will also shut down 10 plants for an extra week in January, and GM is holding construction of at least one factory. Thanks to union contracts, laid-off workers at Chrysler and Ford will still receive nearly full wages and benefits during the shutdown.
Will it be hard on people? Yeah, because they might have to wait for a check for a week or two longer because of unemployment.